All right, today we're going to be dealing with the area like we kind of talked about already. It says write each formula 3 times in your notebook. It helps with muscle memory. These formulas are not going to be given to you on the EOG, so you must remember them. It has to be second nature to you. So this one's in a triangle because this is the area of a triangle we just talked about in the warm-up. The area of a triangle is 1/2 times base times height. Over here, it's in a rectangle because the area of a rectangle or square is length times width. Please memorize those, write those down as many times as it takes to know that a triangle, you gotta take half of it, 1/2 base times height. And a rectangle is pretty easy, just length times width. All right, in today's lesson, whenever we get to a new problem, if you want to stop the video, pause the video, and try the problem before I get there, be my guest. This is for your practice. Now, if you have no idea how to attack it, then please follow along, pause as you need to, take notes. Most importantly, pay attention. All right, we got 2 figures here, A and B. One's a rectangle, one's a square. I know this one's a square because these little lines right here, there's one tick mark going all the way around. Those are lines of congruency, which means equal lines. If it's 6 all the way around, it's telling me that it's a square since all sides are the same. Now, if I'm looking at A, it says the perimeter of figure A is less than the perimeter of figure B. B is talking about the area. So for each of these figures, we're gonna have to find the perimeter and the area for each one. So, first things first, we're gonna label the rest of the sides. Remember, opposite sides are the same with rectangles. So if my bottom's 9, top's also gonna be 9 inches. My right side is 4, the left side's gonna be 4. Now we can solve the perimeter. Remember, perimeter is just the sum of all sides. Just add all the sides together. 9 plus 9 plus 4 plus 4 gives me 26. So the perimeter here is 26. Area we just talked about from the last slide, you should know that it's length times width. Remember, it's got to form, this one's also going to form a 90-degree angle. 9 times 4, that's going to be 36. So the perimeter for that one's 26, the area is 36. Let's look at figure B. It's a square, it's going to be the same number all the way around. Find the perimeter, add up all the sides. 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, or 6 times 4 gives me 24. And the area here, a lot of people confuse this because they just want to do 6 times 4. No, remember, it's length times width. 6 times 6 is 36. So now I got the area and the perimeter for each one. Now let's look at our answer choices. A says the perimeter of A is less than the perimeter of B. Well, we know that the 26 is not less than 24. It can't be A. B says the area of B, which is 36, is less than the perimeter of A. Well, 36 is not less than 26, so B is not good. C says the perimeter of A is equal to the perimeter of, I should say B. 26 and 24, close, but not quite. They're not equal. So D is probably going to be the answer. It says the area of A is equal to the area of B. Well, we have 36 and 36. So yes, our areas for each of these is the same, which is a good point to look at. Because even though they look like different shapes, they are technically different shapes, rectangle and square, in different sizes, it is possible for each of these to have the same area, which means it can hold the same amount on the inside. The reason being that if we were to break this up into square units, they would have the same number of blocks on the inside. Since this is 6 by 6, this is 6 rows of 6, there's going to be 36 square blocks or square units in there. This is 9 by 4, 9 rows of 4 is also going to give me 36. That's why both of those have the same area. All right, next one. Write the formula, substitute the values, and then solve. So, we got a triangle over here. It's got a base of 12 and a height of 10. And I know that the height is 10 because remember, it's got to form a right angle, which means the slants are not important here. So we don't care about those outside numbers. So it's 10 by 12. So over here, it's 1/2 times the base, which is 12, times 10. Type in your calculator, or if you can do this in your head, 1/2 times 12 times 10 gives me 60. I know this because 1/2 of 12 is 6, and 6 times 10 is is 60. Or if you want to do this way, 12 times 10 is 120. Take half it, you still get 60. Remember, area is always square since it's 2 units length and width or base and height. 60 units square, 60 square units. Moving on to the next one. A little more involved. We got to read it, got to apply our knowledge. The following is the Junior Hornets basketball court. Again, pause the video if you want to try it before me. If the workers needed to paint 1/2 of the court, what would represent the amount of area that needs to be painted? Multiple ways to do this. We could split it in half multiple ways. Let's split it in half this way first and say they just want to cover or color paint this side. If I'm taking half of this, we should know that I'm splitting up the 24. Since it's no longer 24 across, I gotta take half of 24, that's gonna be 12. So then we can do length times width, 18 times 12, and that gives me 216. Another way to do this, maybe they're wanting to paint it this way, do a different color. Now we're still using the 24 because we're all going straight across, but I'm no longer using the 18. We gotta take half of that, so I'm just gonna be using 9. So if you do 24 times 9, you also get 216. Another way to do this, if they want to split it corner to corner. This one would have to be 1/2 times base times height. If we type in 1/2 times 24 times 18, any way you do it, you're going to get that 216. So some of you might find a quicker way and just multiply the two together. And since you're finding half of it, just divide it by 2 or multiply by 1/2, however you want to do that. But any way you do it, should be 216 square feet. All right, pause the video, try this one. This is a composite figure. Remember, in the key in the star up here, some hints to solve it. It says break the shape apart and find each area and then add them together. To find composite figures, we gotta find the sum of each little shape that makes up that figure. If you wanna try it, pause it now, we'll go over it in 1 second. All right, first what I'm doing when I'm solving these problems, I'm gonna break it up. I see a triangle, I know I'm adding them together, so I see a triangle and a rectangle that I'm gonna be adding the areas to at the very end. Now I like to start with the rectangle, that's probably the easiest. Length times width, it is 8 by 5 across, and we know length times width, 8 times 5 is 40. So I know my answer is at least 40, which means B is a terrible answer choice. Looking at the triangle, we know that the height is 3, but the base is sometimes tricky to find because they might not always give it to you. But again, because we know that opposite sides of rectangles are the same, if this piece is 5, that means that piece has got to be 5. So then we type in 1/2 times 5 times 3. 5 times 3 is 15. You take half of that, you get 7.5. Last but not least, find the sum of each area of each little figure. Add the areas together. 40 plus 7.5 gives us 47.5 units squared. Answer should have been D there.